What is up, guys? Dotzler here, and I have a new tutorial for all of you. I've said before that I figured out how to record PlayStation 3 footage in 1080p with the Roxio HD Pro. Basically, how I do that is I have the Roxio HD Pro, obviously, and as you can see, 1080i. Um, Usually with the Roxio, and I'm pretty sure this is with all high definition capture cards. Um, the PS3 does not allow HDMI capture because it has HDCP. There are illegal ways around that, but I'm going to show you a way that is entirely legal. You are still outputting through components, and it records in 1080p. The way I have it set up is basically I got one of these. It's a component to HDMI converter. So basically what you would do is, I have a nice little diagram set up for you all. You have the component cables that you would normally record from the PS3 going into this little converter. That in itself, you would plug into the Roxio in the HDMI in, and you would have to set your PS3 settings to allow 1080p through component. That is if your component cables allow that. Some component cables, I don't believe, are capable of outputting 1080p, as well as some TVs. So you have to make sure that both are capable of doing so. And a good way to test this is with a 1080p capable game. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Call of Duty. All Call of Duties are 1080p on PlayStation 3. So that in itself, you can record 1080p. And that is one part of this tutorial. Basically, I decided that because I don't like recording PC gameplay with fraps, it does not work for me. Usually the reason it doesn't work for me is because I have one 1TB hard drive, and usually my games take up the entire thing. I do have another terabyte external hard drive, but that's taken up with recordings. And if I were to record fraps, the space on that thing would be gone in an instant. So basically what I do is I take my HDMI cable that would go into the TV. I take that, plug it into this thing. It's an HDMI switcher. Plug it in the back of that, and plug this, the HDMI switcher's output, plug that HDMI cable into the Roxio, and there you go. Basically, I can switch from PS3 to PC, and now that I have an Xbox, PS3 to PC to Xbox with a simple press of a button. Literally, a press of a button. No switching cables or any of that. A press of a button. And basically, you're going to need a lot of HDMI cables, but there are, on Amazon, like I'm showing you right here, there are plenty of good, cheap HDMI cables. A good company to buy from on Amazon, just as a rule of thumb, is E4City. They have great, cheap, but quality items. So basically, as you can see in the diagram, what you would do for a PS3 and PC input is to do what I said before and component out to component in the converter. From the converter to the switcher, and then you'd also plug in an HDMI cable from your PC to the switcher, a single HDMI cable to the Roxio, and a single HDMI cable to your TV, and then the USB out to the USB in on your PC. It does not have to be the same PC that you're recording from, and it can be a different one. The reason I'm showing it like this is because that I'm using the same PC that I used to play, record. And the problem with that, I'm trying to find a fix for it, but the issue with that is that you cannot extend displays with a Roxio. I'm sure you can do it with a Hauppauge or an Elgato. It's just the Roxio software that does not allow it. If I were to put the capture software on the extended display, it all works until you start recording, and then some screwy little glitch happens where it starts recording for 1 second, stops recording, and it just doesn't work. So basically, you're going to have to do with recording before you start the game and edit that part out until you get to the gameplay. That's what I do. So basically, I just showed you guys how to fix the PlayStation recording from component to the Roxio, and I'll give you a little backstory in that. Basically, again, the reason I had to find a fix for it was because of the Roxio software. The Roxio software is the biggest piece of crap I've ever had to work with on any computer. I don't know how it got past testing. I love the Roxio hardware, and I hate the Roxio software. The funny thing about that, Roxio is a software company. How are they in business? But past that, I can record PlayStation footage in 1080p now. As far as I'm aware, there's not another legal way to do this, and this method is relatively cheap. For example, I got the converter for, as it says here, $25. I got the switcher for less than $10. And I got the Roxio, even though it says $120, I actually got it for $60 with a Medal of Honor Warfighter deal they were having almost a year ago, see? So, yeah. Basically, this method is going to add about $35, maybe $40 with all the HDMI cables. But it is definitely worth it because the Roxio software, as you can see, usually when you plug in your PS3, it says on the options, and I can't do the options because, as you can see, I'm recording infinite windows here, and you can see the quality loss after window and window and window. Usually here on the options, it would show 1080i maximum for your PS3, no matter what. But when you go with this method into the options, it will show 1080p above 720p. So basically, you can record at full HD quality now with PS3. And as far as I know, this works with any other component-based hardware. So here you have the PS2 to HDMI converter. It's an upscaler. So I need one of these. That's basically, I jumped ahead, I'm sorry. If you were to do the method I just showed you with the PS2, it would work, but you could still only record 480p on the Roxio because it would not do any upscaling. It would just be recording via HDMI in the Roxio. So to fix that, you would get one of these. It converts the game footage to 1080p, and that way you can record HDMI to HDMI. You don't have to use you don't have to use the converter with this method. That's just a little something that I wanted to show you. They have the same thing for the Wii, and it's literally the same thing, except it's a different attachment here. But, yeah. Another issue I had was because my monitors happen to have speakers, but most monitors don't. So usually what people do is get external speakers. Do not do that with your PC because it will not record the sound. What you have to do is, if you're lucky, again, like me, to have a headphone port in your monitors, you have to plug in a pair of headphones. That works the best when you are live commentating so that the sound does not come out through your monitors and comes through your headset. Another issue is you cannot use, like I had, the PS3 Elite Pulse headset. You cannot use that directly with either the PS3 or the PC. So the way I fixed that is the Pulse Elite headset has a headphone jack. You plug that directly into your monitor. Now it records sound. So basically, if you're having issues with recording your PS3 through components with the software, because if I were to switch from HDMI to component right now, and I had something plugged into the component, I had it all set up to be component, it would not work because for whatever reason, this little status message right here, it would flicker capture device every once in a while, and the recording would stop if I was recording. So basically, component on my Roxio does not work as far as I'm aware. I haven't tried it again because I have a newer, better method. I did format my computer in order to get the Roxio software to work because, again, it wasn't working due to some driver or software issue previously. I'm telling you, I really hate the Roxio software, and I'm trying to come up with a fix for that. I'm pretty close. I just have a few glitches that I have to fix. But if I do end up figuring out, I will post a video on that too. It's an easier way to live commentate all that stuff. That's probably coming soon if I can figure it out. So I hope this video helped you guys out. This method, I don't even know how to explain how easy it is for me to record now. It's the press of a button. I go from the PS3 to the PC to the Xbox or whatever HDMI device you have, or not even HDMI anymore because of the method I just showed you. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped, and I will see you all later.